welcome back to my channel, TMNJ. It's been some time since my last video, if I'm not correct. My name is Taraz. So this video is about deities and love. So, towards the deities, because the spiritual community doesn't really speak about the deities like that, like whatsoever. When it comes to deities, besides reading about them in books and so on and so forth, comprehend that not all knowledge is really given towards deities. As in, for example, some things that were done weren't really done to a certain degree. If you comprehend what I'm saying. It sounds difficult to explain. It's like, for example, when it comes down to Seth, Osiris, and Anpu, or rather Anubis, that whole story of how basically Seth was skinned, if I'm not correct. Forget. There's always more to things than meets the eye, if you get what I'm saying. That I had to comprehend whilst doing my deity work my own self. Now, when it comes to speaking with deities, whichever pantheon, comprehend that now. So, say you choose to work with Zeus, for example, right? Understand that things won't really go as planned at times. And what I mean by that is, some deities will not want to work with you. Some deities will not resonate with your energy at all, won't want to work with you whatsoever. So you could be working with them, but you could want to work with them or try to work with them, but they won't work with you in general speaking. To literally say, hey, no, like I'm good. I've had it happen to me various times where I've tried working with a deity and they just looked at me like, no. Yes, deities can speak to you in various ways. They can speak to you through energy. It's like the concept of which clear is your highest. Claircognizance, sentience, clairvoyance, or clairaudience. Clairaudience being being able to hear things that are not of this dimension, or rather things that other people cannot usually hear. The voyance being towards sight, towards seeing things that other people cannot hear. Well, seeing things other people cannot see. Apologies. And sentience and cognizance are not really my strongest in comprehension. So I think one of them is hearing, not hearing, feeling. The other one is smelling, if I'm not correct, or yeah, feeling and then smelling. I think I don't really recall all that much. Or I think one of them goes towards your intuition. I have no idea. But whichever clear is strongest for you, the deities can will show up and kind of speak to you in that sort of form. So, for example, given a more clear audience than I'm clairvoyance, the deities speak to me when I call upon them. Mind you, calling upon them, you just literally just say their name. Maybe three times, 5 times at least, aloud or in your mind, and they'll show up. They will. It won't be like immediately. They'll show up in time. But when it comes down to things, if you are more so towards feeling energy, you'll be able to feel their presence because you'll be able to feel differentiation in the energy shift around you. If you are more towards clairaudience, where he's hearing things, you'll be able to hear them speak to you, but probably not in the voice that they usually would have. It'd probably just be in like you could, like, for me, I can feel their tone when they're speaking to me. They have a voice, but kind of not really. It's like it's there, but it's not there. It's difficult to explain. Yeah, I can definitely feel their tone of how they're trying to speak of things, the wiseness or the non-wiseness, and so on. If they're being aggressive or not non-aggressive, or if they're just being really chillaxed with their speech. I can feel it. So usually you can feel it at times, potentially speaking. Everyone's experience is different with the deities, so it varies. But yeah, if it's clairvoyance, you'll most likely be shown images, in your mind of them trying to speak to you, or they'll speak to you through showing you images in the physical reality, or visually speaking in your own mind, and so on. Or they'll just send you energy, and you'll have to interpret what they're trying to say through energy, literally. Um, but yeah, they so there's a lot about the deities that I hadn't thought of like that before. But the deities are literally like humans, except they don't remain emotional for long. so they, so for example, say I'm working with Athena, and say she gets mad or upset with me for doing, or just being disappointed in me for some odd reason. I think she would be. Um, Basically, what would occur is she wouldn't really remain a disappointment for very long. It just subsides. What I noticed is with other beings, whether they be angelic or just of higher divination, gods, goddesses, your own guides, ancestors, so on, the emotional scale does not last forever. It doesn't, not like humans. It lasts maybe a period of time, maybe about a minute, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, but they don't really stay emotional or any sort of emotions for long periods of time. It just happens and then it just drifts off, which makes sense, given in the higher realms of existence, going above the human realm, well, above 3D or 4D in general speaking, towards 5D and above, the concept of emotion doesn't really exist at all. It's all neutral. Um, but yeah, but they do things like humans, which is basically having temper tantrums and getting angry and getting upset and being petty and all that other shit towards one another. Literally. Um, some individuals have patrons and patronesses. That is basically, if you do not know what a patroness is, a deity that basically stands by you throughout your entire life. So they're kind of like your babysitter or your chaperone in a sense, or like your parent, kind of. That they just protect you and try to guide you to the best of their ability, even if you do not know they're around. They're always looking out for you, but not. If they're busy, then they're not. But usually more times than less, they're around you. Just to make sure you're good. Um, Sometimes you can have one patron, a god, a male deity, or a patroness, a female deity. Sometimes you can have one or two. It's not. I'm pretty sure you can have a patron or patroness. Either or. I don't really know. Not gonna lie, I don't really know that much into it. But what I do know is that you can have more than one patroness or patron. Simply, I have. I can't speak on that. Can't. I've come across individuals who have at least maybe 3 patrons or patronesses. It varies. But yeah. But comprehend also that something I didn't want to say, they just came to my mind due to my guide, so thank you guys. Was that when it comes down to the deities, so you can either go, so when it comes to the deities, you can speak to them in 2 forms. You can go about things in two ways. There's one, a respectful way, which is, well, I won't say the respectful way. I'd say the way that other old timers would look towards it in a more professional way, which is basically like the worshiping sort of way that you look towards the deity in like such high regard and so on and so forth. Um, so yeah, that's the thing. Or you could, as a friend of mine had taught me, or rather had told me, you could just look at, you could you can handle the relationship between you and your deity or deities in a way that's more friendly, which is what I go towards, which is like, hey, what's good, bro? You want to just chill and relax and just advise me and so on, or just chill and just watch this movie and so on, literally. Um, if any of you do go towards working with deities, comprehend that you can you can literally ask them what kind of movies they may like or what kind of songs they may want to dance to or listen to or whatever the hell. Yes, they can dance. Yes, they deities can do a lot of things, but you just can't see it sometimes. Literally. Um, but yeah. So yeah, that is a thing. If you actually, what do you? Something you can do at times is you can light a candle and for whatever deity you want to be, that you feel that would resonate with your energy. At times, like you intuitively just know, like what deity resonates with you, because there's, say, if you say you go to whichever pantheon, um, technically speaking, the Norse pantheon doesn't really, uh, according to other deities, it doesn't really exist because it was it's like a manifestation of various individuals believing in these beings. So Odin and Thor and Loki, and so they're real, but they're not real in a sense. Like they exist, but not of how the other pantheons exist. The other pantheons were literally created by the universe. Well, when this planet was being born, in a sense, or rather, not being born while the humans were being born. My bad. As humans were being created, basically, the pantheons, the Egyptians, the Egyptian, the Greek, the Roman, the Indian. Is it called the Indian pantheon? I don't think that's the right terminology for it, but correct me if I'm wrong. Any other pantheons that exist, even the Japanese pantheon. Uh, all the pantheons were literally created um, basically to aid humans. And with that being said, there, if you were asked how the pantheons go about things, they're like, think about as I think it was one of the deities. I think, was it Lucifer? I think it was Lucifer. Um, yeah, I think it was Lucifer, who is basically saying that the way the deities go about things is like the pantheons go about things is basically like countries. So think about the Egyptian pantheon being its own country in a sense, like its own border, and then the Greeks being their own border. So they're all separate basically. Except, like literally Minerva and Athena, though Minerva goes towards the Roman pantheon, and Athena, the Greek, and technically they're speaking of the same individual. They're different people. They're literally different beings. I had to ask Minerva this to uh, see what things truly were, because she just was like looking at me as I was reading her thing, like, Taras, there's no point in reading that because we're practically the same being but different forms and different names. And I just was like, oh, that's lovely to comprehend. But yes, I don't think there's much more to say with the pantheons. But what I can say is that, oh, okay. So the next thing I was gonna say was about love. Um, so I've been seeing a lot of different readings, things on YouTube lately that go towards love, how to find your soulmate, this and that and this. So first off, because twin flame just came to my head. The twin flame connection, from what I had learned, so when I first began comprehending love in the spiritual community and how things actually go about, twin flame connection I thought was between two people, right? But that still didn't make sense to me when I really was comprehending this. The way it was saying was that a soul can split into two different beings, but a soul can't really do that. Like your soul is your soul, not half of your soul, and someone else gets half of your soul. That's not how things work. Um, so what I had to learn from an ex-friend of mine was that twin flame connection goes between you and your higher self. So basically, you and a higher dimensional being that's basically born the time, the second you're born, and your higher self is a completely different personality than you do. Literally comprehend that. And you cannot see them. I think it was a friend last night who asked me, "Can you see your higher self?" Like if you were to try to visualize it, and I said no. Or rather, if you were to try to astral project or astral travel, if you see your higher self, no, you cannot. That is a that those are that your higher self is on a completely different dimension, like a higher dimension than your guides are on. Literally. Um, Maybe the eighth dimension. I think I don't really recall, but they're up there, and they communicate with you as your guides communicate with you, in whichever way, shape, or form that your clairs will go towards. So if your clair for me, say for example, your clair is like your clair audience is strongest for me. I can hear my team and my higher self speaking to me, um, and I can tell by the differentiation in the tones and the energetical tones that come into my mind. Literally, you can tell when you become more aware, you are able to tell if it's you speaking or a deity speaking or your higher self speaking or your guide speaking to you. It's easy to tell when you become more aware of your inner being and so on. But yes, towards love, yeah, the twin connection is literally between you and your higher self because you two are twins, literally. If you Now for those into astrology, you can look at your higher self chart. I think your higher self is your draconic chart. So by looking at your draconic chart, you begin to understand your higher self more. You begin to get the relationship between you two like more in sync. um, but yeah. Now again, towards love, when it comes down to things, I've been seeing a lot of things on YouTube saying how to find your soulmate, why love isn't coming to you, this and that and this. Comprehend you can't really find love. Like is mind you, some of you may retort me for that, but you can't find love. You, like love comes to you, simply put. When externally speaking, love comes to you, but in general speaking, you already have love within you. Simply everything you've ever needed, the care, support, the love, everything, the happiness, all emotions they're already within you. They've always been within you. They never left you. You give yourself love before you give anyone else love. Now towards a partner, you you could try to find a partner. You could try that, but you wouldn't really gain much traction doing that. You like nothing really will be gained when you try to find a partner. Letting your partner come to you, or rather going with the flow of things and just flowing and then letting things happen as they're meant to happen, is really the way to go about things. When you're trying to find love or attract love to you, like no. Well, the thing about it is again, there's a terminology of what you feel is what you attract, right? So if you're feeling love, you're going to attract love to you, right? If you're feeling happy, you're going to attract happiness to you, all the sorts. So if you're feeling a certain way, you're going to attract it to you, right? And by attracting it, you're not finding it, you're letting it come to you. Simply put, you let the money, you let the love, you let everything come to you. Simply put, when it's meant to come to you, when you're ready for it, and so on. Especially when it comes to being with someone, it's not like you can just you could try changing up your whole mindset, but that would require reprogramming your mind, literally, which isn't easy. And still, you probably wouldn't be able to find quote unquote the person that is for you. You, t- as a person who's gone through it, my own self, trying to find love and so on, it doesn't work. It doesn't really work to the best. Well, in my past relationship, I was trying to find love, and I did in a sense, but it was more so the concept of it was brought to me. I didn't just find it; it was brought to me. The universe brings things to you when you're ready for things, especially your guides will bring things to you when you're ready for it, or will have things happen to you when you're ready for such experiences to occur. When you're not ready, these experiences don't come to you. Rather, when they can tell you'll learn something from this, or they can, because your guides can see, and as well as yeah, your guides can see basically into the future, literally. So looking at the deities and so on. If I'm not correct, but yes, your guides literally can see into the future to see what's going to happen and so on and so forth. So they aid you to the best of their ability for future occurrences and so on. Now, when it comes down to things, with my own experience at hand, again, I didn't really find it. In human logic, technically, I did find it, but in non-human logic, my guides literally were the ones who brought my ex to me, or rather, our energies resonated with one another at that point in time. So it was like we just came across one another through the universe and through our guides being like, hey, yeah, we're gonna do this. Simply put, finding love, finding a partner is not something to do. As I said before, it's a waste of time in my perspective, given if you're so busy trying to find a partner, if you're so busy, you're not going to really accomplish anything else. In a sense, finding someone shouldn't be your main priority or something that you should really be thinking about. It's not a need, it's a want, and it happens as it's meant to happen in divine timing. So when it comes down to things, when I look at these videos of, hey, like how to find love, how to attract love, and so on and so forth, and what you're missing, and this and that, like, no. Something I would say is, when it comes down to things, before you even go towards trying to be with a partner, comprehend why you're just to yourself. Comprehend what you can achieve by being alone, to your own being. And this reality, in this world, we're taught that being alone is horrible. And people get depressed when they're alone. They get sad. They get antsy, irritated, all the sorts, and it becomes just no, just a shit show. In general speaking, when it comes down to things, what I had to learn was, simply put, just allow yourself to relax and to heal. With times when you're alone, you're able to literally do things you would not have been able to do at times. You're able to really meditate, to really do you, and to really live and to really flow, to evolve. Because at times when you're with someone, you're not able to really evolve to the degree that you could when you're alone. You're not able to really think and get such ideas down into your being, or let the brilliance really begin to shine when you're with someone compared to being alone at times. It really does differ. You're able to focus on yourself and get a lot more accomplished than when it comes to being with someone else at times. I'm not saying it's all the time. Sometimes it varies based on the individual. It really does. But yeah, when it comes down to things, to me, my perspective, it's best to literally just let things go as they're meant to go. You can like someone, you can want to be with someone, sure, but comprehend, be able to read through the lines, because not everyone is communicative, and be able to comprehend, okay, if this how this person is feeling about you in simplest form, because at times people won't tell you a damn thing. And you'll have to like just take hints and clues and read the energy that they're giving off. Especially, and the sad part is, a lot of people don't know how to read energy to that degree, even through text. So it's like you're just so wild goose chasing, you end up getting hurt at times, and you're like, nah, F that and F this, and yeah, it's not a good scenario in general speaking, what I've seen various times. But yeah, no, when it comes down to things, you can chase after someone that you like if you choose to. Maybe tell them what shit is beforehand, so that you're not like chasing and they're like oblivious of certain things. But in general speaking, I wouldn't even recommend chasing at times. I'd recommend kind of just letting things come to you. If you have just intuitive feeling, yo, this is the one, like she or he's like, yeah, this is the good person, then sorry for the background noise, family. But when it comes down to things, comprehend that when it comes to the chasing factor, sometimes it's best to chase, sometimes it's not best to chase. Sometimes it's best to let things just flow and see if the energy you're giving out to someone you're getting in return. If you're not, don't. Simply put. If the person doesn't give you the energy back that you're sending to them, and you tell them how things are, how you're feeling, this and this, don't. It's not worth it. Straight up. The individuals are able to tell how someone's feeling even if you do not tell them how you truly feel about them. And if they're not really comprehending things to a certain degree, just stop. Sometimes it's stop. Sometimes try a little bit harder. Sometimes it varies again, but yet towards love, some of you guys need to just relax and chill and know that things will happen when they're meant to happen. No need to try to attract it. You can try to. I'm not saying not to. And try to chase after it when it comes to you, when it's meant for you, when you're ready, when you're at that point, you're being. I mean, let me say this real quick before I forget it. You can tell your guides and any deities, potentially speaking, to match make you with someone else or your ancestors as well. You can ask them to like match make you with someone who resonates with your energy. Now, if you're depressed, excuse me, I would not do that because then you're gonna be resonated. Because then you're gonna be match made with someone whose energy is like in the depressed field of comprehension and so on. So it's not the best at times. But if you are healing yourself, journaling, doing shadow work, whatever the hell you may be doing, and you feel at a point in time that you're ready, then go on ahead. Go on. Tell your team, hey, whether you say it aloud or in your mind, they'll hear you either way. Straight up. But yes, telling your team, hey, matchmaking with someone who put me together with someone who resonates with my energy, singing whatever terminology you wish to say it, and so on. They'll do it. But comprehend things will not happen in time. But don't. And something to also say, don't. If you are to do this, don't think about the concept of, hey, when's my person going to be coming to me? I was doing a reading once, and the person's team was like saying this and that and this, and they were questioning when it would happen. I just looked at them like, they can't tell you a date. It just happens when it happens. Like, there's nothing more to say to it. And they wanted like a number or whatever the hell. I just was like, that's not how things work, man. That's not how things work. Your team does things and things happen when they're meant to occur, especially when you're ready for it. When you come across the person that's for you, you come across them. And even at that, at times, the person that is for you to a certain degree may not last as long as you wish for it to last. But more so it's the concept of one, they resonate with your energy, and two, they're there for you. They're there for as long as they're meant to be there. Simply put, if you and your ex lasted 2 years, that's how long you were meant to last for you to comprehend all the things you were meant to learn in the time you two were together. Literally. So, with that being said, I love you guys. That is, yeah, all that there was to speak on. I will be doing some tarot, oracle videos, oracle card videos, sometime in a bit of time. I just wanted to get this video out because I was like, I need to post another video. And I'll be astral traveling more and also shedding some astral traveling experiences towards you guys, because I know I haven't been on that as I used to be, and this was a lot of my channel went towards astral traveling and teaching it and explaining some things to you guys and so on. But I'll probably be doing a past life reading wherever deity resonates with your energy, or rather what deities are maybe around you guys, which I'm getting a bit of a download right now. So I may do that video very soon, maybe tomorrow or the day after that, but I have no idea. We'll see. With that being said, so my mind's going blank. With that being said, I love you guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever the hell it may be, morning. And yeah, my name is Taras Johnson. This is my channel, TMNJ. I love you guys. You guys have a nice, time. See you guys again later.